I'm Timothy Wingate Jr. I'm a construction accountant based out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Um, Prior to Interview Connections, I've always had an interest in doing podcasting. I actually went to the podcast movement conference and, was really thinking about starting my own podcast. But, as you know, tax season can get in the way of, having that time allocated to actually, orchestrate and put together a podcast and do those things, because I knew that to get clients in the door, they need to hear from me, and I need to educate them and explain how I provide my service. So I struggled with marketing for a very long time. My business is only 7 years old, and I probably spent about $30,000 getting it wrong. And so really was looking for a way to get in front of my audience, so they can hear me, because the service that I offer is not it's not an inexpensive option, so definitely they need to have some education around it. So when I got with Interview Connections, it was just kind of like, hey, man, this is pretty cool. A company that can really help me get in front of, an audience, and then to do what I wanted to do anyways, which was be on podcasts. So to guest on podcasts, I thought that was like the second best thing. And literally my first booking, I've landed a speaking engagement. And so the host of that podcast, he thought I did so well on his podcast that he asked me to be the speaker at his speaking engagement. And so he flew me out to Arizona, paid for all my travel expenses, and also paid me to speak. And then when I spoke at the event, it went even better than what I thought, because I got bombarded by all the participants, and they were saying like, we need to call you, we need to, speak with you. And from there, the host also came back up to me and said he learned 3 new things that he never learned before, and he wanted to go back to his team and speak to them. And these are contractors. So, and the contractor, the host in this case, they're used to building like $25 million homes, really high end homes. And so for me to come in and say that he learned something from my presentation was even better, to let me know that, hey, because I'm sure he has a great accountant as well, but he said he was going to take that back to his team. And they invited me back to speak again in September. So that's going to be in Austin, Texas. And I'm just really excited about all the different opportunities. And and like the calls have been coming in, like people have been literally like booking on my Calendly and saying, hey, I heard you on the podcast. I didn't get a chance to go to the event, but I want to meet with you. And so I've been getting so many calls that I had actually had to up my assessment fee probably by 500%. So it's just because it's just been crazy, the demand, and I can't service everybody. So I got to have a way of weeding people out. And so this has literally changed the course of my business. I'm in the process of hiring another bookkeeper, getting ready to, offer some more benefits that I was not able to offer, years ago. So things are just starting to change for me, and it's a little scary. I must admit, it's a little scary, but definitely exciting. And I just can't thank Interview Connections enough, because this has changed the course. I finally figured out my marketing problem.